Welcome back to the channel. I've spent my entire week behind the wheel of this 2025 BMW i5 xDRIVE40. And when you look at it quickly, you might not even realize that this is actually a fully electric sedan. That's one of the cool things that BMW have been doing with their electric cars and gas car rollouts over the years, is they make them look very, very similar. And I've got a perfect example of that right here. So I'm gonna take you around the exterior, then we're gonna take a look at the interior, and of course, we're gonna do a POV drive. Let's get right into it. So up first, we have these really nice daytime running LEDs, as well as the kidney grille that you're either gonna love or you're gonna hate. Personally, I actually really like it. I've got this titanium bronze trim right here that looks really cool around the car. It actually grew on me. Wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but I like it. Also, we have a little intake there for the battery cooling, and it just looks like any other gas-powered BMW, and I really, really enjoy that. Also, this gray metallic paint color that I have looks phenomenal on here. Nice eye badge right there. Front-facing camera, because we have the 360-degree parking cameras and all the parking sensors you could want, as well as a nice little BMW logo right there. I really like this angle. It looks very aggressive and very sporty. So let's take a look at what's powering this BMW i5 xDRIVE40. I've got an 84.3 kilowatt hour net high voltage battery with a range of up to 428 kilometers. But the good news is, throughout the course of this week, I've been getting consistently well over 500 kilometers of range at 100%. But it's the summer, so take that as you will. Now, of course, this has all-wheel drive, so I have dual electric motors, and that is going to combine to give us 389 horsepower, 435 pound-feet of torque. I've also got the M Sport package, which gives us a little bit of a sporty look and some nice interior features as well. And I have the M Sport dark blue brakes, and also, to top it all off, I've got a rear axle air suspension, so this thing rides very comfortably. So next we move to our side profile, where you can see just how pretty big this sedan is. It's definitely a full-size sedan to me anyways. Let's zoom in a little bit here. I have these nice BMW M logoed wheels. These rims are really, really nice, and then you can see my dark blue brakes right there. So if we move up a little bit, again, you can see that bronze titanium, which I think looks gold, but I still really like it with this paint color. Camera here turns into LED. The door handles are interesting, but I actually do really enjoy them. They kind of just move up. It's very nice. It's a sensor to lock and unlock the door, so I don't know how that's going to do in the winter. Haven't tested it yet, so can't really talk to you about it. Also, we have this nice little 5 logo right here in the bronze trim. Love that. Then I open this guy up, and it is my charge port. It can charge pretty efficiently. I'll put some of the charging times on screen for you so that you can take a look at those charging times for yourself. And then last but not least, we move on to the back of the i5 xDRIVE40. We can see we have these very nice iconic BMW tail lights that look really, really cool, really clean. A little tiny little spoiler, if you will, for some nice little aerodynamics. The i5 badge goes right here. Nice BMW badge, very clean. And then we have our xDRIVE40 badge right there. And again, from the back, it looks very similar to a gas-powered BMW, because you can see we have like almost cutouts for exhaust. Obviously, since it's electric, there isn't any, but there's still kind of like the outline of it, and the silhouette of a real gas car is definitely there. Backup camera, that's standard, and then I also have an automatic tailgate, which you can see here. I have my baby stroller inside to show you, new parents, what it's like to have one in. Also includes some B-roll of it empty for those who are not parents and do not care about that, but for those that are, there you go. And we also have some slight storage that is under the floor here. Very useful. I just actually used that this week, and it was very convenient to have a little bit extra trunk space. So there you go. That's going to do it for the exterior tour for the BMW i5 xDRIVE40. Let's hop in the interior, take a look at that. All right, first up, we're gonna take a look at the rear here. You can see right away we're greeted with a bunch of different materials. I have like a violet kind of material with a gray and black. Nothing is boring here. Also, we have these really nice door handles, Bowers & Wilkins sound system, very clean. Taking a look at the seats, the same thing kind of continues, that same kind of pattern. Really, really, really interesting to look at. I am a fan of it. So let's hop in. That's about as much room as I have, but you'll be surprised to know that it is more than enough to actually hop in and be comfortable. Close the door here. So the seat has like a little indent in it that my knees fit perfectly. Plenty of foot room as well. No problem there. I've got vents back here, so I'm nice and cool at all times. 2 USB-C ports, a little storage there. Fits the baby seat like you can see perfectly well with the mirror, no problem. Excellent view of the sunroof. Then we have this guy that's gonna pull down, got some cup holders, very decent. Again, another Bowers & Wilkins sound system with kind of like that bronze trim that we saw outside, so the interior very much matches the exterior, which I like to see. Definitely not boring. There's a bunch going on here, lots of stuff to look at. But yeah, plenty of space in the rear. I could do a road trip. The seats are very comfortable, very kind of slanted back as well. It does kind of feel like sitting on a couch. It's that high quality. I really, really like it. So let's check out what's going on up front. All right, business end time, the front seat. Let's take a look at this. So this is where things get really cool and interesting. You can see I have this panel strip of lighting that comes down right here. And then we also have some touch controls for the seat and the locks. Very easy to use. I really haven't found myself like not enjoying it. I haven't found myself missing the touch buttons either. So it's been pretty solid. Bowers & Wilkins sound system up here as well. Standard door controls. This is for your trunk right here. So no problem there. We'll take a look at the seats. Again, we continue with that same kind of, that violet and gray kind of mix right here with a nice pattern in the seats, as well as a bunch of adjustments for your lumbar support and your leg support right here. So let's actually hop in. Greeted by a nice BMW steering wheel. Now it is kind of like in an off state, like an off/on state, so that's why the steering wheel is kind of up there. So put our foot in the brake, we'll start it up. It's going to spring into life for us. Very simple. CarPlay is automatically connected. It is wireless, so that's nice. Greeted by this nice BMW steering wheel, again with these bronze accents that I really enjoy. The steering buttons are touch, so that is one thing that you're either, again, going to hate or love. Personally, I don't mind it because it's worked every single time. So when that happens, I don't have much complaints about it. Now, I also have some drive modes. I do have the assisted driving package, which means that BMW has like adaptive cruise control, and then it can also change lanes for me and different stuff like that. So very useful. Just used it actually not too long ago. Got a boost button. I'll talk about that when we drive it. Left-hand side, I have really cool controls for my vents. This is all over the car. Then we have like a touch control, again, whether you want airflow in or out. I got my lighting controls right here, as well as I can turn them completely off. Then we have our digital gauge cluster, which has some nice stuff in it as well. If I press settings here, I can go into content, I can change the layout. So when you have AR content on, say I have like some type of navigation on, it'll actually point me like turn-by-turn directions inside with the camera. Really convenient and really easy to figure out where you need to go. I actually just used that again this week, so that was very useful. You can have turn by turn, you can have the navigation, the map right in there, because we do have built-in navigation. A G meter, because of course this thing does pull a little bit, and then of course you can see what's playing if you want. You can also change the layout, different things like that. You have different themes as I switch through my drive mode, so I'll show you that. Let's go into my mode and we'll switch into sport mode, and you can see that the gauge cluster will change, and also the ambient lighting in here will change. When I tell you that this is one of the nicest ambient lighting setups that I have seen, I am not messing around. This thing has so much personality on the interior because of the ambient lighting. So I'll change it again here. We'll go my modes and we'll go into efficient, and that'll switch this and also change my ambient lighting. Then I'll do it again, my modes, expressive. And you can, I don't know if the mic is picking it up, but it's playing like this kind of weird, interesting noise, and it also changed the theme of my gauge cluster. Again, completely switch this as well. Okay, let's do it again, and we'll go into relax. Here we go. And it's playing some other kind of relaxing tone. Again, switched it one more time. And then we have what's really cool. It's called digital art, switches everything to an aggressive purple, and you can have like this kind of this presentation that plays for you. That's really interesting. Drive modes aplenty, personality aplenty. I like to just drive in this. It's very, very good. I have gesture controls on, so I'm trying to be careful with my hands here because it will activate kind of the CarPlay and try to turn my CarPlay on and then interrupt my video. So, but I do have gesture controls. You can kind of like spin your hand to adjust the volume. You can select certain things. The screen is very, very responsive in detecting my hands. Sometimes when I don't want them to, like right now. So if you're somebody that talks on the phone with their hands, you might accidentally do a few things like I've done already. You can see that I have gesture controls with that right there, part of the M package that you could get, which also gives me a little M logo in the steering wheel, which I really enjoy. Now everything is going to be controlled through this right here. So if you don't like not having physical buttons besides the rear defrost and front defrost, then you're maybe going to want to take something that has a bit more buttons. But honestly, all my climate controls are right here in the infotainment display, which is very big, very easy to read, easy to understand. I've got heated seats, heated steering. There we go. Dual zone automatic climate control is there as well. You can have individual settings. and there really isn't anything that this infotainment can't do. I can play games on here through my phone, control the ambient lighting. I have drive recorders. I have interior cameras. That as well comes, I think, with the BMW package as well. Built-in Spotify, built-in Amazon Alexa, built-in YouTube. It's all right here. I could have my parking come up, just the vehicle settings. Like, there's so much. I could probably spend an entire day going through just everything, an entire video, just every single thing that this infotainment does. And let me know if that's something you want to see. Now, again, we have these little slidey things here built in kind of to the dash. Works very well, no problem. And then we have this little knob right here that's going to control the vents. I actually really think it keeps the interior of the BMW i5 very simplistic, which is nice and very easy to understand, so that's cool. We've got one wireless charging pad right here. This second side right here is just for storage. We've got some cup holders right there, as well as 2 USB-Cs. Then we have this guy right here is kind of our quick selection kind of thing. This is where a lot of the physical buttons are gonna come from. I have a little knob here that can control this, which is very convenient if you don't want to touch the screen while driving. I've got, you know, my quick selection stuff like my media, telephone, navigation. Start stop button is right here, as well as the gear selector is right there. You have drive for normal drive, and then B for the one pedal driving. Auto hold, my mode button, a manual volume button, the parking sensing button, which is really cool. Here we go. I have an automatic park feature, which I don't really use because I don't need it, but I've used it a few times in BMW, in different BMWs, and it's worked pretty well. It's just not something that I usually will even gravitate towards in any car that has it, but it does the job. It'll park. And of course, the cameras are all high quality. I can see around the car, whatever I need, 3D view, car wash view, camera cleaning, you name it, we can see it, and we've probably got it here on the BMW i5. Then quickly moving on, we have a little bit of storage right in here. Opens up very nicely. Nice kind of leather, nice little armrest, very comfortable while I'm driving. I'll talk about the seat comfort a little bit more while I drive. And then last but not least, you can see we have this nice dash that's finished in this very nice looking wood. Also, you can see we have like these little details that look like, since it's an EV, to me, this just says like it's bursting with energy, right? Like it's got so much energy, it's bursting through your dashboard. It just adds that little bit of personality that you look for in an EV, because you don't have a cool exhaust noise. Yes, it might be fast, but you need little things like good ambient lighting, which this has, and a little bit of personality by adding some accents to your dashboard. That is how you do it. BMW have got it right so far. Let's check out how this thing drives. Let me strap that GoPro on my forehead and let's do it. All right, on the road now with the 2025 BMW i5 xDRIVE40. And what a great place to spend time. This thing is just so comfortable to just commute around town in. I can't even explain it to you. Also, I've got great one pedal driving. I'm in the B mode, or the B setting, so that's very easy to use as well. Don't have to touch the brakes literally at all. I can time everything. It's very, very useful for me. I love one pedal driving anytime I get an EV that can do it, and the BMW i5 here is doing really well. And yeah, like I said, so comfort is really, really good in pretty much any mode. I usually drive in like my personal mode or sport mode. Right now I'm in personal mode, and I have like that air rear suspension is really helping things, I think, because it just absolutely deletes most of the bumps. Obviously the heavy ones you still kind of feel. I just came back from a really long, or like a 2-hour road trip, so I spent 4 hours in the car driving between 2 days, and honestly it was such a great experience. Like, I really had a good time doing it because the BMW i5 handles so well. So now let's put us into sport mode here, and let's blast off. Whoa. Yeah, so all-wheel drive definitely helps. 389 horsepower, like I said in the beginning of the video. So we've got a lot of disposable power for ourselves here, which is really, really good. And the all-wheel drive just makes things instant. Obviously, when you drive a front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive EV, it kind of like, you know, holds back a little bit. But with the all-wheel drive dual motors pushing you forwards, it's unmatched. It's absolutely crazy. And what's even better is I have a boost button, so I can click it. For 10 seconds, it goes even faster. Oh my God. This thing can rip. And this isn't even like the top performance BMW i5 that you can get. You can get a higher one, and it just gets even crazier. You get over 500 horsepower in that thing. You still get the all-wheel drive, but it just gets more and more ridiculous. at the other level of this thing. But honestly, do you need it? I'm not sure that you do. I think I'm having a great time. The handling feels really good here in sport mode. The suspension still feels really, really solid. I can just take turns, no problem. That lower center of gravity that most EVs give you is really helpful because, everything's really low. You have a really low center of gravity, so your handling is easy to maneuver, and I'm just such a fan of this thing. Steering feels really good too. It's just a nice feeling leather wrapped steering wheel. The visibility is fantastic. Got a big windscreen here, got big mirrors. I really don't have any complaints visibility-wise at all. The seats are holding me very well. I actually, when you go into sport mode, it ups the bolstering a little bit, so it holds you just that much tighter because, this thing moves. You're gonna need to hold on to your hats when you absolutely put the pedal to the metal in this thing. I've also got assisted driving, so I can have the car change lanes for me. I could have it, use the adaptive cruise control stuff, which I did use a little bit yesterday, but since I was kind of mountain driving a little bit, I decided to use it, just to kind of drive by myself and adjust to the different speeds out there. But still, it can be done and it can be fun, and it absolutely is. And look, it's hard to find things negative to say about the BMW. I mean, there's a lack of buttons, and I'm a buttons guy, but that's really it. When it comes to the driving, and what I look for in EVs is are they fun? Do they have personality? Because that's kind of all that it is. It has no exhaust. It doesn't make any sound really to give you any personality at all. So I feel like BMW has done a really good job at making the interior really, really personable. And also, I like the fact that I have this boost button. Whee! Oh my God, it just is an absolute little rocket with the boost button. And you can just click it, you get 10 seconds of unleashed electric power, and you also get those noises. So it has a good amount of personality to where I don't feel like I'm missing out on an exhaust car, really. It is what it is. It's its own thing. If I want the gas car, I can definitely go over and get it, but I don't feel like I'm missing out by not having it. And I also don't even feel like I'm missing out by not going to the top end performance version of the i5. I feel like right here at the xDRIVE40, you kind of have everything you want, especially with the sport packages and all the things that BMW have included here on my trim that they've given me to test. It really does feel like the complete package that I want, and I don't feel cheated at all. Which is really good news. I don't know if you can see it as well, but I also have a heads-up display, which is really useful, especially when you're using the navigation. It'll kind of pop up something that says hey, you're going to turn soon. You kind of have navigation everywhere. It's right in front of your face. You basically don't even need to look at the big infotainment display. You can kind of use your gauge cluster and your heads-up display to kind of figure out where you got to get off and on. So it's really convenient. Road tripping in this thing was super easy to do, and I really, really enjoyed it. So by this point in my career, I've driven quite a few EVs. This one probably has to rank near the top because it looks like a normal gas car, because it has so much personality, because it's fast enough that anybody that, spends the money on this thing is going to be happy with it. And I mean, just all the little convenience things that BMW generally does in all their cars. I unbuckle my seatbelt, my seat moves back. I turn off, or even my bolstering goes out. I'm in sport mode, so it'll unloosen once I unbuckle my seatbelt. I've got really, really nice convenience features, gesture controls. Like I said, the navigation is on point, absolutely phenomenal. It's such a smooth ride. My baby enjoys it. I think she's fallen asleep in here countless times this week. It's just living with a BMW EV is just easy. And I like the fact too that on the map here, it's a really big map, and it'll tell me where the chargers are, which ones are DC fast charging, and usually it can tell you if they're being used or not. And the data has been pretty good. I've been looking at the map. I'm okay, I'm about to drive by a DC charger. It says it's in use. Let's see. And I drive by it, and sure enough, that charger was in use. So far, it's really, really good. And the directions have been good too. I did not use my Apple CarPlay maps, which is usually what I do in all of my vehicles. And for the first time, since this had such good integrated kind of GPS navigation stuff and just good integrated systems, I didn't feel like I needed to use my phone at all. And especially when you combine it with the fact that I have built-in Spotify here, I didn't even feel like I needed to connect my phone whatsoever. I could probably just sign into my Spotify, put my phone on the charger,
and just kind of let it do its thing. Like I usually, you know, I'm not somebody who takes a lot of phone calls, so that's not even a thing. So I don't really even you don't really even absolutely need to connect a phone in here because the built-in stuff is so freaking good. So overall, the BMW i5 xDRIVE40 is a really good family sedan, number one, a really fun EV with a ton of personality, a bunch of speed to go with it. If you get the M Sport package like I've got, you're really not missing much. You don't need to go up to the full performance brand, and you're gonna be completely happy. I think the range is just enough. I've been seeing over 500 kilometers. So for my case in the summer here in the warmer weather, that's excellent. I don't really expect much more from the EVs, you know, especially one that has a dual motor and that is a little bit more on the performance side while not being the complete performance package. I think it's good enough. I think it's justifiable. I think the price is all right. You know, you don't need all the packages that I have, and you still would probably get a great sedan, which is good news too. I just think the platform that the i5 is built on is really solid. And like I said, if you don't like EVs, you don't have to buy it. BMW have an i5 that is fully gas powered as well. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and unfortunately leave you off with those thoughts on the BMW i5 xDRIVE40. I have had a great time this week. I hope you've had a great time watching. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know, would you pay the price point for this thing? Do you like the looks of it? Do you like the titanium bronze accents that I've got on my trim? Or do you own one? Let us know from a owner's point of view. What's the maintenance been like? Because it's an EV, so we're not gonna do oil changes, tire changes we'll do, but we're not gonna do all that engine maintenance that comes with a gas car. So let me know in the comments what you think about it, and if you own one, let me know how it's lasted you, and I can't wait to hear what you say. So make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell notifications so you never miss a new car that I've got. I've got one every week, and you're gonna get 2 videos on those cars every single week. So I'll see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.